Okay, Reggie, I wanted to show this video in real time, and you can tell me to pause or stop it at certain points if you want to speak on it. But I definitely wanted to get your reaction and thoughts as you watch this clip of this video. Are you okay with that?
Hell no. Because first of all, y'all, guess what the day is? August the 5th. And it's my birthday. And it's a milestone birthday for me. And so, all you Reggie Wright friends, y'all better make sure y'all Zell y'all boy and tell him happy birthday, even if it's $1. But anyway, yeah, John, I'm just joking. I definitely wanna hear what the clown got to say. But this is a clown group. No Jumper needs to get rid of this. Well, only one I like on there is Bunchy B. I like Bunchy B for some reason. But let's go.
Just ask Suge. He even doesn't think that I did it. We're gonna act like Suge is a credible voice in this scenario in any capacity. We're gonna act. There is already speculation of Suge was wanting Pac out the paint since back then.
That narrative is so stupid.
I mean,
No, because they
yes
said that.
and no.
Is it that Pac was?
You can stop it right there, John. Okay. So I don't know. I don't know where Lush getting that information that Pac wanted off Death Row at that time, or other than I guess a couple of nutcase is making that accusation. But I like what Bunchy B says. What Bunchy B kind of clarified and said that's just people conspiracies just talking and all of that. But I don't know. Lush is such an ex-active crackhead in my mind. I don't even know I'm responding to Lush. He is so silly to me. But let's see. Let's keep going.
Gonna be leaving Death Row?
Pac was gonna be leaving
Right,
Death
right,
Row.
right.
Listen to the Machiavelli album.
I heard Biggie was gonna leave Bad Boy too.
That is a little bit more of a stretch, to be
Oh, okay.
honest, per my understanding. Like,
Mm.
there's no,
You never
I've
heard
never
that?
seen, I've never seen any real.
All that happened, so I had to watch it. Like, you feel me, as like a teenager, but I don't remember that detail.
Y'all remember that Big only made 2 albums, right? And y'all remember he was 24 when he got killed.
Hey, let me tell you
He's
something.
young,
man.
bro.
Yeah.
The internet and the viewers, they love a good story, right? They love a interesting, good story. They said Puffy wanted Big dead. Suge wanted Pac dead. The Bloods wanted Draco dead because he wasn't signed to Mustard. Like, the internet love a good story, bro. If I get shot tomorrow, it's because I was about to leave No Jumper and Adam put a hit on him.
For sure.
Right.
Like, man, this should be bullshit, bro.
Yeah, no, like,
Stop it right there. So it's funny to me how Lush is so adamant that Tupac was leaving Death Row, like it's factual. You know, the way you make a statement like that. But Bunchy B, once again, man, good job commentating and responding to this clown and his statements. But yeah, so unfortunate that that narrative was out there. But let's keep on.
conspiracy theories
I
are
ain't,
like,
I ain't smoking because he don't want to sign to me, nigga.
Right.
no, a lot of that shit do be exaggerated and do be kind of ridiculous. But to act like there wasn't tension between Pac and Suge, and just Suge and Dre and Suge and Snoop, Suge and all of his artists, that's just inaccurate, because we know that like literally there's not a single person that Suge really got along with that was on his label at that point by the end of it.
We
Yeah, everybody was trying to get
With
on.
Suge, low key, like probably.
Dre was already gone. Pac and Suge, contrary to what y'all believe, had no issues. I know some of y'all say, well, you calling an audit. Okay. I mean, the audit wasn't even due until August the 13th. And we know Pac died, less than a month in that. Trust me, they would have worked it out. Pac wouldn't have been sitting in the car next to Suge, or riding out to Vegas with Suge. If you got a problem with somebody, you don't fuck with them no more, right? You definitely don't go to New York and be talking about pumping up Death Row East and and hanging out with Suge like that if there was the issue. Man, y'all know how I feel about Suge right now, August the 5th. We're just 2026. Y'all know I think he's the piece of shit. But I'm not just gonna let people lie on Suge. Pac and Suge had no major issues. And for Lush to be up there saying Snoop wanted to leave Death Row at that time, Snoop wouldn't have went to Vegas. I'm sorry, went to New York with them if he had an issue. He was out there with them, y'all. No, Dre was gone. He had been gone since February. So I hate that these guys be just sitting up there. And the only reason I'm responding to the clowns is because they have a big following and they just up there pushing a narrative that just isn't true. And I don't know Lush's age. I bet you he was a 13-year-old druggie when he was in 1996. I bet y'all that. But let's go.
That was on his label at that point by the end of it.
We
Yeah, everybody was trying to
Tension
get
with
off.
Suge, low key, like probably more so one sided in the sense of like these is like, man, like this nigga be walking around thinking he Debo all the time. I'll be talking when that nigga leave the
Well,
room.
no, I think,
that was like how it went. Though,
but in
right?
Suge's
Or am I
eyes,
wrong?
no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But in Suge's eyes, it's like why they ain't getting with the program.
I'll ask you something. All right, you said like so. Anybody ever heard Tupac voice that he had?
Suge shot me.
Yeah, that
Stop.
song.
Suge shot me.
Yeah.
That's
Stop
what
right there.
supposedly he say. Suge.
John, would you please explain to these people what song and what that Suge shot me shit came from? Because I'm so tired of people pushing that narrative that just isn't true. We done covered it about 10 times, but go ahead, John.
Yeah, the Shook Shot Me thing is from a sound effects record that they used that had the street sounds at the beginning of that intro. And MTV did a article or like a video feature on it that isolated the sound and proved that it didn't say Suge Shot Me. It was also part of another group. I can't think of it offhand, but I'll put the screenshot on the I'll put a screenshot on this video right now that will show you where you can go and watch the music video that has the exact same sound effect and the exact same words on it, and it's not Suge Shot Me. That's just a conspiracy. Reggie, I hate to interrupt you, but for all of our listeners out there that may be small business owners, I think this might be a good thing for them. There's 36 million small businesses across the US, and more than 70% of them need additional funding at least once a year. Traditional banks, we know the headache they can be, the paperwork, the long waiting, the credit decisions, all that stuff. And usually it's months until you find out whether you are or aren't approved. But that's where the sponsor of today's video comes in. If your business makes at least $25K a month, Delta Capital will offer you business funding with an application that takes under 5 minutes. There's zero impact to your personal credit, and approvals happen in minutes and not months. So do yourself a favor. If you're a small business owner and you're looking for funding to maybe reinvest into the company, hire new people, upgrade your equipment, whatever the case may be, click the link in the description or in the comment pinned and see if you qualify for same-day business funding of up to $500,000 from Delta Capital. Reggie, back to you.
And so, yeah, Lush, come on, Lush, man. You got to stop this up there projecting like you know, because you don't know this death row stuff. And Suge didn't treat his people that he was fucking with like no Debo. Snoop and Suge was cool. Pac and Suge was cool. And any other artist that was on there. Dre was gone. So, of course, he wasn't happy with Dre. But all he was doing at the worst was trying to get his reels back and steal his song. That No Diddy song, or whatever, where he had to flip the beat on that. Because originally he was going to take the beat that was on Diggy. But Jimmy wouldn't approve it because he was also making money off of Teddy Riley and the No Diggity song. And they wouldn't approve for it to come out. So they flipped it to make it sound similar. But other than that with Dre, That was the only issue at the time. Suge was not trying to hurt Drake. If y'all want to keep it real, Suge did not want Dre to leave, even though he was getting 50% of that company. That was Dre that wanted to get away because he was tired of the lawsuits and scared he was going to get violated for probation. And just tired of all the dumb shit that was going around, meaning the incident that happened at the Christmas party and stuff like that. But mainly him fucking his baby mama. Okay. John, go ahead.
Shot me in the intro to Machiavelli, or shot me.
Yeah.
That's what supposedly he say. Suge shot me in the intro to Machiavelli, or yeah, you could hear it really quietly.
Yeah, that was one of
This
the
is one of the
things.
conspiracy theories
Right.
that you were just referring to.
But I'm saying any interviews, you feel me? He was very boisterous, bro. Did he say he had an issue with Suge, or did he was disgruntled about anything? Did we ever hear that out of boisterous Tupac?
He alluded to a lot of things. If you listen to the Machiavelli album and you listen to some of like the subsequent releases, he definitely was alluding to things changing. I think to me, one of the biggest indicators was the fact that he was about to be launching the One Nation project, which was
Right.
a collaboration between the West and the East Coast. And Suge had this
Right.
really seemingly pro West Coast agenda and was not really trying to do that. That's just one of several.
All right, y'all. This One Nation thing. Suge control the studio. Suge could control flying out people, all that. Suge and Eric B. and all of them were on board for the One Nation album. That's where a conversation came from this guy named Big D and Eric B., where they wanted this to pretty much show that Pac didn't have a problem with the East Coast. He just had a problem with certain motherfuckers on the East Coast. So that narrative that Pac was trying to leave Death Row behind because Suge didn't want nothing to do with the One Nation album. Suge didn't want nothing to do with the One Nation album. Shit wouldn't have got recorded. Because Suge wouldn't allow it to happen in Can Elm Studio, where all of this happened at. Suge wouldn't have paid for all the dudes to fly into New York, from New York to California. So I hate when people just be speculating. I really hate when they don't know what they're talking about. Shout out once again, Munchie B. You said it. You said it best. If Pac had a problem with Death Row, he would have talked about it. Pac was not no scary man. Pac would tell you how he feel. Pac wouldn't have been hollering Death Row East, which I know y'all for some reason believe Death Row East was Pac's. It wasn't. That was going to be Def Jam was doing something called Def Jam West with Richie Rich and Warren G and all of that. And so that's why they came up with the name Death Row East. But they're going to get people on the East Coast to do stuff. Just like Wack 100 do Cash Money was. That's all that was. They had some stuff in the South that was going down. I forget which record company that they were calling something the South. And so all of these companies was doing stuff like that at that time. So why this crackhead, this meth head, is still up there talking like all this stuff is factual? I don't get it. The dudes to the right, I know y'all young and y'all don't really know, so I'm staying off of y'all. But Lush is up here pushing an agenda that just isn't correct. Once again, Munchie B, thanks for representing, bro.
Indicators that Pac was going in a different direction that we could tangibly point to and be like, this is proof.
Going in a different direction. Do that mean that is an issue?
No,
In a different direction.
well, yeah, I mean,
Can't you just go in a different direction?
Could
when
be.
you're talking about somebody like Suge Knight, who doesn't have notoriously the best social graces, when it's like, hey, you going against my agenda, then it's you. Like, I could see there being a normal, like, way more conflict over that than it should be or normally would be between an artist and a label.
Yeah, I think Tupac came out here and he adapted, bro, and he became a part of his community you know, that they accepted him and embraced him.
Right.
Like everybody named in To Live and Die in LA, all them names.
Yeah.
Hair Run,
Right.
Neckbone,
Yeah.
all them.
But he
Bro,
was only out here for a couple of months, so he couldn't have really even knew niggas
he been
like
out
that.
here
Like,
before that. Before he joined Death Row, he's running around LA.
Yeah, he'd been
amongst
A couple of months. Come on, y'all. Like I said, you youngsters over there to the right, y'all should have kept your mouth shut because y'all don't know. It was 11 months. It's not a couple. A couple to me is 2. A few is 3. And so he was out there 11 months on death row. So they were out there long enough to be cool. But like what GB was about to say, they did have relationships prior to that where Pac was out here. So Pac knew he knew LA culture. Just like he knew Oakland culture. Just like he knew Baltimore culture. Just like he knew New York culture. Pac was a very well-traveled brother. And so, yeah, Munchie, thanks. Lush, you way out of line, bro. You way out of line. But I understand y'all need content before y'all show get canceled. Because this show is definitely going to be canceled real soon.
you know, Big Psych and him from IVC.
Yeah,
Over there.
remember he shot Poetic Justice down here, all kinds of
He
bro,
been
like,
he
yeah.
been in out here moving around LA, but as far as Death Row, it was a short run. You know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
I don't think that him. I think him and Suge got a good relationship.
I don't know. I think toward the end things started changing because you know how the money
think-
get,
I-
and everybody was leaving Death Row at that time. Dre was leaving, Snoop was like everybody was jumping at that
That
moment.
is true.
I think Tupac took
Let's
a
stop.
liking to the
All right, once again, I'll repeat it again. Dre was already gone from Death Row in February. Snoop had no inkling, no problem, not even thinking about leaving Death Row until about 1998 when Suge was gone and his payments got cut off. And then he felt some type of way, but it was like 1998 when Snoop left Death Row. So people wasn't leaving Death Row in 96 when Pac was unalive. So I just gotta respond. I know y'all like, why you gotta always respond to shit? Because with something on Death Row, y'all gonna stop changing the narratives when y'all don't know. Motherfuckers get on podcasts and be speaking on shit like they know, and you motherfuckers just don't know. And for those of y'all don't want to hear the truth, y'all don't know or don't want to hear it. But y'all know everything I'm saying is factual. I ain't said nothing wrong yet. But y'all hearing all this inaccurate information that's been put out by these 4 brothers. Well, 3. Munchie is being neutral and trying his best to defend because he knows a little bit about that problem.
the chaos and the
No, for sure he did.
For real,
He
I
loved
feel
that.
like what
It-
he's saying makes sense because it's like you could kind of tell Snoop was unhappy, but like Pac was always like the golden child. Like, isn't
Right.
it that famous picture of them where it's all 3 of them?
but-
It's like
right.
this
but-
frowning and Pac
Snoop
is
looked
like
pissed up the
looking
fuck off.
hella
But,
jubilant and
okay,
Right.
shit.
but keep in mind this too, right? That's an interesting point in Snoop's career because Snoop was the biggest star by far. Snoop was signed in 91, 92. You feel me? Pac didn't get signed to Death Row till 5 years later. You know what I'm saying? Like he got signed in 95.
But when they
Like,
were both on the label at the same time, you think Pac was bigger?
yeah, but yes, he was because listen, and that's my whole point, right? Snoop, obviously, the lead up and like aftermath from Doggy Style is besides like 50 in the early 2000s, probably the most dominant run a rapper has ever had in hip hop history. Like
Yeah,
Snoop
from
Dogg,
deep cover.
from the deep cover soundtrack
right.
to his appearances on the Chronic to Doggy Style, the most goated run ever.
Then
Like, all right.
Dog Pound came out.
And then remember what came after that was the Dogfather, which was a very, by commercially Sanders, disappointing album for Snoop.
Right.
Then he wound up actually leaving Death Row,
No
and
Limit.
going to No Limit,
Yes.
and he didn't really have national prominent stardom again until he reconnected with Dre
Right.
in '99 for 2001.
2001.
All right.
Yeah.
So at that point, yeah, Snoop is bitter. Snoop's
Let's,
like, oh,
let's just
because
clarify a couple of things. All right, so let's just kind of write on that. Even though he left out Murder Was the Case, but that's cool. That wasn't really a Snoop album, even though we promoted it like a Snoop album. And Dogfather, y'all know my opinion on Dogfather, and so Lush spoke on that well. But it wasn't that Snoop wanted to leave. Like I said, Snoop only wanted to leave because the money wasn't flowing right. He got cut off, and that's when Suge elected to assign Snoop rights over to Priority Records and No Limit. And so they kind of spoke on that correctly. But you know what, John? I had enough of this video. We'll end it here, and we're going to talk about Keefe motherfucking D. Keefe D. Keefe D went to court yesterday, y'all. He trying to use his tactics. Y'all always say, if he was innocent, like he claimed, why? He should hurry up and go to court. He want to go to court. Well, y'all know he tried to ask for a continuance now. He said because he got the money. Like the judge said to him, if you got the money to bail out, you can bail out anytime during this proceedings. So my question would be, where did you get this $112,000 from now? Or was just another tactic, a delay tactic? I think it was just a delay tactic, and the judge is making sure this case go on. Like I keep telling y'all, all you people out there that keep saying that that's the witness list. That's not a witness list, y'all. That's a list for the juries, so they can know all the people names gonna be mentioned. Why they got all these dead people name on there if that's a witness list? So they go subpoena Michael Moore. They go subpoena Frank Alexander. They go subpoena the governor of Nevada. They go subpoena the mayor of Nevada at the time, Oscar Goodman. Come on, y'all. That's just a list. And I know y'all getting it from the way that it's wrote, but trust y'all boy Reggie Wright. If y'all don't trust anything Reggie Wright says, that list is just a list of all names that possibly going to be mentioned during the trial. They give that to the people that's filling out the questionnaire, that's trying to be on the jury, so they'll know if any of those names if they recognize or they know anything about. And so they can tell the courts or the lawyers ahead of time that, hey, yeah, I know Reggie Wright. I know Michael Moore. I knew Frank Alexander or whatever. So that can be brought up in advance. So halfway during the trial, if they'll come out where a jury find out, ooh, I used to know that guy. I went to school with him, or I used to like him, or I don't like him. That's why they have that list. Because if y'all look at all those names on that list, come on, y'all, they are not going to be. This trial will go until next year if all those people got up and testified. So trust me, y'all. Trust me. Well, probably sometime today. I can see sometime today. Me and John will be breaking news and sending y'all the official list, because they have 5 days before the court date, before the trial date, to submit their list. But the list has not been submitted prior to today, August the 5th, when this video dropped at 9 a.m. But I do believe later on today, an official witness list will be dropped. All right, y'all. So bomb first. We appreciate y'all. We appreciate all the happy birthday wishes in the comments that I know y'all gonna post, and all the haters. I love you too. Peace, bomb first.